Greetings, Jim Feig back, your master photographer. I want to continue talking about the picture I talked about last time, this old dilapidated barn lab. Korchinski's photos will do an excellent job with your printing, so take them there if you need printing done. Now this old building, I drive past this old building probably 8 years now, and I've watched it change. When I first drove past it, the first couple of years, it was an active building in use. They used it for storage, and they had livestock staying there, but gradually that changed over time until it was used less and less, and then finally abandoned to the time and the elements that deteriorated it. Oh, a year or so ago when it was about this shape. Today it's in worse shape yet. This was before Hurricane Harvey came through. Today the weeds and the mesquite and weesach are growing up around it, and there's a tree. Makes you stop and think. What do we do with old buildings like this? Why we let them waste away and dilapidate and let the elements destroy them, or we'll bring the bulldozers in and get rid of them? What do we do with an old car that stops running and it won't run anymore? Why we tow it off to the... What do we do with people when they wear out? What do we do with people when they can no longer do the things they want to do or need to do to take care of themselves? That leads to the final end. What do we do? Full 8x10 room with a bed and a dresser in it, or something like that, and we'll tuck them away there, give it to them anymore. That's a good solution, I guess, but the problem is sometimes we forget about them when we leave them there, and that's tragic, because the greatest fear that someone in approaching their final days has is the fear of being left alone. We don't want to let that happen. So if you know of a loved one, maybe you have a loved one who's, or a parent who's guided you from younger days and helped you grow and develop into the person you are today, maybe you've had to send them off to a place like this because you were not able to take care of them yourself. If so, don't. I've got a brother. My brother and I are get there. We're not there yet. But what we have when we get there are good support teams. You need to give your loved one a good support team. Let me describe our support teams. My brother, he's not lonely when he gets up there. He's staying with his son right now, and he'll come back and stay with his niece sometime later this summer. I'm even in better shape than he is. I've got my wife, Judy. I've got my 3 daughters. And then I've got some dedicated, trusted friends, maybe I'll call them honorary daughters, that are there also to give me care and think about me when I need it, to make sure that I'm not alone. I'll give you an example. When I go to Houston for treatments or checkups or tests, one there. And these are not simple casual trips. They're not close by. They're not within driving distance. They're still there to support me. So when you have loved ones in this situation, make sure you're there to support them. I'll give you another example. I've got and he is essentially made that his second home. In fact, he's almost an unpaid member of the staff there. He'll be there to read out the numbers for their bingo games, and he'll be out there to help set up the parties, and he knows. He knows if they have anyone to help care for him, and if not, while he takes over, your loved ones don't have problems like that. I'm going to close this out by reading a little poem that Dale and Thomas wrote to advise his father, as his father was traveling, advising his father to stay strong, stay firm. You're not alone, is what he was saying. He says, do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the